Has flown into a dogfight at supersonic speed, promising to spend $12 billion on new warplanes at the same time that he's preparing to drop a bomb on pensions in the federal budget. He's buying 3 squadrons of new stealth fighter jets. Adam Todd joins us now from Canberra with more on this story. Adam, this is the biggest purchase in the history of the military, and already there are doubts about these planes.
Sandra, this Joint Strike Fighter program has been shrouded in controversy for more than a decade. There's been delays and cost overruns and even questions about the quality of the planes. But the government insists these will be the most advanced fighters in the world and well worth the sizable investment. Climbing into the cockpit, Tony Abbott couldn't resist his very own maverick moment. A Top Gun, briefly anyway. The price of these planes certainly takes your breath away, $12 billion. Tony Abbott says buying 58 F-35 Joint Strike Fighters is essential to ensure Australia is prepared for anything.
You just don't know what's around the corner.
Just around the political corner, a tough budget, with pensioners among those facing cuts.
So much for the budget emergency.
The PM says past governments have been saving for the F-35 since the project was launched in 2002.
This is not new spending today in the context of a tough budget.
But critics say the F-35s are riddled with flaws and the project has been plagued by delays and cost overruns.
The bottom line is the F-35 is not an air superiority fighter.
Others say those issues will be resolved by the time the first plane hits the skies in 2020.
We are assuring ourselves that any remaining technical glitches are going to be sorted, or very likely to be sorted, by the time we take delivery.
The aim is to eventually replace the ageing fleet of these FA-18 Hornets, which date back to the 1980s, with the F-35 Joint Strike Fighter, each carrying a price tag of $90 million. The need for speed doesn't come cheap. Now, while the government announced a big purchase today, we're expecting to hear a bit more about cuts tonight when the Treasurer Joe Hockey gives a major speech in Sydney. It's expected he'll outline a timetable for the release of the government's Commission of Audit report. That's the report that's going to recommend all those cuts.
Thanks, Adam.
The new Premier Mike Baird admits he'll need to be a better salesman for his government to do well at next year's election. His new cabinet was sworn in today and he says he is up to the task. Josh Murphy reports.
5 days ago, it was frantic phone calls, closed-door meetings and number crunching. Now the impression of a united front to make the new team official.
Do swear that I will perform the functions and duties of an Executive Councillor faithfully.
Brad Hazzard is now the Attorney-General, and then there's the new blood.
I, Robert Gordon-Stokes.
I, Paul Lawrence Toole.
I, Jai Travers Rao.
I, Troy Wayne Grant.
I, Dominic Francis Perrottet.
An occasion where pint-sized paparazzos are welcome and even the odd note passed. Paul Toole calling Troy Grant a snag. Or sensitive new age guy, he's got the arts portfolio.
My warmest congratulations to the Premier and his new ministers.
1, 2, 3.
Then it was the class photo of 2014. Mike Baird's cabinet, he says, he'll take to the next election.
I expect cabinet to be a fun-loving place.
So after a week of turmoil in New South Wales politics, Mike Baird has declared the ceremony over. Cabinet will meet for the first time this afternoon.
It'll consider a new regime on lobbyists and a potential $30 billion sale of the state's electricity poles and wires. But he admits selling past achievements needs improvement.
I include myself in as part of the former cabinet that probably hasn't done enough to tell the people of New South Wales what we have been doing for them.
A government that's lost 7 ministers and a premier in just 8 months is not a stable government.
You'll be hoping it's the last trip to Government House, at least until March next year. Josh Murphy, 10 Eyewitness News.
They're the cool new generation of royals, but even Prince William learned today that only the experts should attempt rap dancing in public. The royal couple was in Adelaide, where youth was getting all the attention. Alan Murrell joins us from there now. Alan, we hear that William was trying to get jiggy with it today.
Well, he certainly gave it his best shot. He told the huge crowd here in Adelaide he was switching it up and then confessed that he didn't really know what that means. It has been a very relaxed visit to Adelaide by the royal couple. Far less about pomp and ceremony, far more about youth and their potential for the future.
Arriving in Adelaide, appearing well rested from their night at Uluru, the royal couple was whisked into a world far removed from palaces and ballrooms.
So this is it, Dolphin Emotions Hip Hop School.
Hip hop beats as their soundtrack, the Duke and